Welcome to the Middle Ages, where a mole on your face could mark you as Satan's sidekick. This was an era when freckles, yawns, or even a weird sneeze might get you accused of signing a devil's contract. And guess what? A smile at the wrong time could land you on the pyre. Why? Back then, smiling wasn't joy, it was proof you were plotting with hell. Superstitious villagers, grumpy priests, and nobles itching for an excuse to chop heads made life wild. This video dives into 10 insane reasons a grin could end your life. From churches to fields, from goats to plagues, we'll show you just how bizarre the medieval world was. Ready to laugh? Careful, it might get you executed. Stick around to uncover this top 10 list. Number 10. It's Sunday in the Middle Ages, and you're in church, surrounded by folks dressed like itchy curtains, bells clanging, air thick with doom. You're trying to be holy, but then the priest's voice cracks like cheap glass, or a fart echoes off the stone pews. You smirk, just a tiny one, but oh no. The old widow 3 rows back gasps like she saw Satan's toenail. The priest freezes mid-sermon, points, and yells, smiling is pleasure, pleasure is temptation, temptation is the devil. Suddenly, your little grin is proof Satan's renting your brain as his Airbnb. Villagers whisper, ropes get prepped. By sunset, you're not just losing your smile, maybe your tongue, or your whole head. They call it purification. You call it overkill, but who's listening? In this era, smiling on Sunday was a one-way ticket to the bonfire. Number 9. You're a medieval peasant, mud on your boots, hay in your hair, taxes draining your soul. Then a noble prances by on his stinky horse, drowning in velvet and an ego bigger than his castle. You slip up and smile, maybe out of politeness, maybe nerves, or just because the sun hit your face wrong. But to him, it's not a smile, it's mockery. A filthy peasant daring to smirk at his lordship. In his mind, you're not just grinning, you're torching the world order. Nobles don't need a reason to lose it, but you just handed him one with your dumb grin. By nightfall, guards are at your door, not to chat, just to remind you peasants kneel, not smile. The result? Your head might end up on display, and that smile gone, along with your hopes of surviving the week. In the Middle Ages, smiling at a noble was signing your own death warrant. Number 8. In the Middle Ages, smiling alone was a devil's invitation. You're out in the field, just you and some sheep, when you smirk over a funny memory. No one's around, just you and your thoughts. But then, old Tom peeks over and catches you grinning. To him, it's not joy. It's Satan whispering one-liners in your ear. Back then, smiling without a clear reason screamed possession. Villagers didn't think you were daydreaming, they thought you were chatting with the devil. Next thing, ropes and torches show up. You're dragged to the square, forced to explain that smile. No excuse saves you. Smiling alone wasn't harmless, it was proof you sold your soul. The result? A bonfire's waiting, and your grin gets torched along with your shot at survival. Number 7. In the Middle Ages, having a full set of teeth at 30 was like flashing a wizard's wand. Most folks back then lost teeth like chickens shed feathers, gums bare, hopes gone. But you? You're rocking a shiny white smile, grinning like you polished your teeth with moonlight. Villagers don't see good hygiene, they see witchcraft. A toothy grin at 30 is a red flag waved in the devil's face. They whisper, bet they ate souls to keep those teeth, or they're brushing with Satan's minty spells. No evidence needed, just your smile lands you in a trial. The priest calls it vanity, calls it magic. The result? You lose more than your grin, you lose your shot at life. The bonfire's ready to torch your demonic teeth, and the village calls it justice. Back then, a perfect smile was a deadly crime. Number 6. Medieval funerals were grim, black hoods, mournful bells, wet mud, and a grave ready to swallow. You're standing there, trying to look somber, but a smile slips out. Maybe it's nerves, or a funny memory of the deceased. But back then, grief was mandatory, and smiling was blasphemy. Villagers don't get coping mechanisms, they see you winking at death itself. A grin at a funeral is proof you know too much about poison or curses. They whisper you're celebrating the death, or worse, caused it. The result? A bonfire's waiting, and that smile gets burned with your shot at survival. In the Middle Ages, smiling at a funeral was digging your own grave. Number 5. In the Middle Ages, getting hurt was common, but smiling through the blood? That's a no-go. You just fell off a cart or got stabbed by a drunk baker. Blood's gushing, pain screaming, but instead of wailing, you smirk. Maybe it's shock, maybe you're trying to look tough. But the villagers step back, eyes wide. To them, smiling while injured screams devil's work. Normal folks groan, if you don't, Satan's rewired your nerves. They whisper, they don't feel pain. Bet they sold their soul. No extra proof needed, your grin brands you a witch or worse. The mob grabs you, torches ready. The result? The bonfire eats your smile and you with it. Back then, grinning through blood was proof you'd howl under the moonlight, hooves ready to sprout. Number 4. In the Middle Ages, smiling at a goat was asking for trouble. You're in the field, locking eyes with a goat, round pupils, scruffy beard, looking like Satan's in turn. You smirk, maybe because it's goofy, or it just farted in rhythm. But villagers don't see cute. To them, goats are the devil's buddies, and your grin is a demonic contract. They whisper, they're smiling at a goat. Bet it taught them Latin. Or worse, they think you and the goat are plotting, maybe about immortal cheese. No one's arresting the goat, so you're the one screwed. Torches and ropes show up, and that smile drags you to the bonfire. Back then, grinning at a goat proved you were a witch, or at least way too chummy with livestock. Number 3. In the Middle Ages, smiling in your sleep was a one-way ticket to the bonfire. You're curled up on a straw bed, cold stone floor, night whispering secrets. Then you smirk, grinning in a dream. Maybe you're dreaming of good bread, but villagers don't buy it. To them, dreams are a devil's playground, and a sleeping smile proves you're partying with Satan. Someone spots it, your wife, neighbor, or a random passerby, and it's over. They whisper, they're not sleeping, they're scheming with demons. You wake up, but the torches are ready. That smile isn't innocent, it's evidence your soul's dancing in hell. The result? The fire burns your dreams and you with them. Back then, grinning in your sleep was a supernatural crime. Number 2. During the medieval plague, streets reeked of death, bells never stopped, folks coughed blood, teeth wobbling like they'd fall out. But you? You're smiling, like the plague-carrying rats never existed. Maybe you're just keeping your spirits up, or you're lucky enough to dodge the disease. Villagers don't buy it. To them, grinning during the plague is unnatural, almost immune, and immunity means one of two things: you're blessed beyond reason, or you've signed a deal with the devil. They don't believe in luck, they think you're the cause, or at least in cahoots with the pestilence. Your smile marks you as the scapegoat. Torches flare, the crowd demands to burn you to cleanse the village. The result? Your bright grin gets torched with your shot at survival. Back then, smiling while the world died was a suspicious crime. Number 1. You're in a medieval courtroom, accused of heresy or smiling on the wrong Tuesday. The air's thick, the judge glares like he's burning you with his eyes. When asked for final words, instead of sobbing or begging, you smile, just a bit, maybe to ease the stress, or because you're out of hope. But that's a fatal mistake. To them, your smile isn't bravery, it's a witch's confession. They see the devil smirking through your lips. The courtroom goes dead silent, the scribe stops writing, even the rats under the floor freeze. Smiling before judgment means you know something, and back then, knowing anything was half a crime. Torches light up, and you're dragged straight to the pyre. That grin didn't save you, it threw you into the flames faster. In the Middle Ages, smiling in court was writing your own death sentence. The Middle Ages were wild, huh? One smile could brand you a witch, Satan's pal, or bonfire fuel. From churches to courtrooms, goats to plagues, we just ran through 10 ridiculous reasons a grin could end you. Thanks, you awesome humans, for watching this video. Big shout out to the 6,000 of you who've subscribed, you're legends. If you chuckled along, don't worry, no one's burning you today. Smash that subscribe button, hit the bell so you don't miss more bizarre stories. We'll be back soon with more hilarious, crazy content. Catch you next time.